It always takes a while before it records.
Spinning up a Google Cloud instance.
Yay! It's just put up a Google Cloud instance, and hello YouTube. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Kidding. First of all, I need a note taker. I think Mayal is volunteering. He is always such a fanatic note taker. Oh, he's looking surprised.
Yeah, I'll do it anyway. So.
Yeah, you're such a fanatic note taker. So it's a positive thing. Also, a quick to-do item. Josh, your Google Drive should have the last recording from last week's meetup. Could you put it somewhere public and put the link in there? I usually upload it on YouTube, put it unlisted, and just put the link in the document. Unless you want to have those subscribers.
Yeah, I do remember that email coming through. Is there like a shared YouTube account, I guess? Or
I just use my personal. I know we had one on the JetStack account before, but we should have a cert-manager one due to CNCF. I just use my personal one due to lack of there being a better one. Suggestions welcome.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and create a cert-manager one then. I think that probably makes the most sense. I'm imagining Google does something sensible, so I can set it up under my JetStack email and then probably share it with lots of other emails, and then I can
you can
do password propagation in some sense.
There is a new brand manager. You can use a Google brand thing. It's called.
Yeah, leave that to me. I'll sort that out.
Okay, that's all meta chat. Let's start with the actual meeting. Hello and introductions. Hi, I'm Archer. I work for nobody, and I am a maintainer of the cert-manager community. Just to reintroduce myself, I guess I only see familiar faces, so I guess we can just skip this one. Cert-manager v1.2. Mayal, you planned in a release meeting for tomorrow. Can you tell me more? Well, tell everyone more.
Yeah, so we planned the one that, like, the real release, not the last one, which was an alpha. I hope this is not going to be an alpha 3. I think everything has been closed, so there shouldn't be anything in the milestone, except maybe for one issue for the website, which is the upgrade notes. So we have an issue for that. And I think, so I did the upgrade notes. This is done. I think Jake, you want to do the search and replace for the version, like curl commands and stuff.
Yeah, I'll make sure there's a PR for the website ready for the release party.
Oh, great.
Have you re-pull requested my duplication one, because it got merged into master by accident, accidentally releasing one documentation for not sorry, I wouldn't say not 12. That's that's a long time ago. 1.2 everywhere on the 1.1 branch.
So that was actually done. That was my fault. Okay.
Was it done? So that's fixed, right? I haven't looked at the website repo. Sorry.
No. Sorry.
I think Urbe reverted it.
I
done
reverted
in a sense that it would be like redirected towards the right one. It was just reverted.
I have reverted. I have made a PR to revert it. It approved. And is the PR? Did somebody make a re-PR to that one yet?
No, we haven't touched that one.
If you can still access the branch, so I would just make a PR to add that back, because that adds notifications. That adds everywhere that we deprecate new Kubernetes versions and old Kubernetes. I hope I'm better in an hour. That we deprecate all Kubernetes versions. That was basically a big change everywhere, and removes all the legacy things. So maybe Mayal, you're adding upgrade notes built on that PR.
Wait, what?
March had a PR which removed from the documentation all the talk of legacy Kubernetes. I accidentally merged it into master.
Instead of the release branch.
Which got reverted and we need to reopen that PR, and you need to
Yes.
also someone.
Yeah, I'll
needs
do it.
to
It's fine. I'll add that
Edit
to the
it
list of
and
the
add extra
preparation.
upgrade instructions.
Somebody got the link? Thank you. I was just looking.
Preparation
Ah,
list.
And
thank
it
you.
needs,
Anyway.
Marcher, it needs to be a pull request against release.
Release next, just as all new documentation.
Okay.
So documentation always uses the master for the current version due to people making very small typo fixes, and they don't want to wait for a release to see a typo released. So that's why the current version is the master branch, unlike cert-manager, where the next version is the master branch.
Yeah.
We're all so keen.
Great.
It's really hard to listen and take notes at the same time. So I just put stuff in if I'm not the target of the if I'm not being talked at, I'll put some notes in.
Did we take a look at the milestone?
There are two of my issues still in that milestone. The first one I'm going to close because I think I've actually fixed the fundamental issue. 3396.
3. Okay, yeah. What about the deprecation timeline? Are we
That's only documentation that's left.
again? Oh, so we cannot close it. But it's
Technically
fine.
not
We can
still.
release it anyways.
Well, the PR was merged, but it was merged into the wrong branch.
Okay. So that was the PR that was supposed to be closing this issue.
Yep.
Great. And
yeah, it was cross-referencing, so we cannot close in one repo to close in the other one. So unfortunately, that wouldn't fix it. But that was actually that PR.
Oh, thanks for sharing the screen. Yes, it's better. And the sanity check, I think we were supposed to be closing it.
Yeah, I'll do that now.
Bump it. I mean, bump it to 1 to 3.
Yeah, we'll close it because we discussed the other day whether Josh made the point. How to what extent can we save people from making these mistakes? And perhaps we're just making things too complicated by by changing the renew before calculations. And, I'll add a comment to that issue.
Yeah, thank you. I was saying, can you please comment that on the GitHub issue? So people reading this issue know what it is. They don't have to be able to attend every stand-up to follow their issue.
Wait, are people not attending our stand-up?
Yeah, people are not attending your stand-ups.
Oh.
Yeah, even my base leaves this meeting.
It's with that riveting.
And
okay, I'm gonna. Sorry.
Yeah, the last issue here. The last issue was, for some reason, I added it to the milestone, but it doesn't have to, or should it? I don't have time to do the unit testing for OCSP service for this release, but I promised I would do it. So I'm just going to bump it to the next one.
Done.
Oh, thank you.
What's the shortcut for bumping an issue?
/milestone next, or just use the GitHub user interface.
With a capital N. With a capital N, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh, we're done.
Good. I'm going ahead in my agenda, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Just to give an update to the community, which is me, right now. Alpha 2 was released last week. Congratulations, everyone involved. These are some new features we also added, which I'm just reading the release notes and reciting. So the new features are adding annotations for key usages on the ingress shim, And also adding an OCSP, so it'd be OCSP server field to the CA issuer. No server inside cert-manager yet. And also, the Ingress shim will now tolerate small errors in the Ingress spec, which was done by Irbe, which I think I summarized correctly.
But basically, it will tolerate invalid TLS entries.
Is there anything new added that should be worth noting in this meeting?
If they fix the Helm chart update,
Yeah, as a bug fix, yes. It seems like the upgrade command should have been not working for a while, perhaps already. So there's a fix for that.
Great.
I think I remember doing that maximum minimum annotation a very, very, very long time ago.
I don't
Like
understand.
Over a year ago.
I don't understand why it doesn't break for me, but I have seen it breaking in other places.
Yeah.
It's a user-specific bug.
Maybe it's your version of Kubernetes, but I guess.
It works
Like,
on my machine.
Yeah, I copy and pasted the same commands that Josh used to reproduce it. Exactly.
Yeah, so
With the same git share.
Well, if it works on your machine, maybe we should now start shipping Kubernetes clusters inside containers. Oh wait, that's kind. Anything else for V1.2? Any questions, remarks, comments?
Yeah, maybe that wasn't a great idea to invite everybody. I don't know.
Why?
That's yeah. So tomorrow I did not add the whole mailing list because so maybe we should discuss that right now.
Okay.
So Richard and me this morning we discussed about we're kind of reluctant about inviting the mailing list, but so we're afraid of leaking passwords, tokens.
Yeah.
But how should we do?
I'm afraid of doing that, and I'm afraid that tomorrow it's going to be one of us is going to be muddling through it, not being very confident about what we're doing. So it's best if we just do it in private, make our mistakes, and next time we can be a bit more open about it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So maybe if we feel more confident on 1.3, we could actually do it in public.
Mark Shiro, James Munley joined the last
what do you think?
meeting. So
yeah,
and also Brian. There was Brian, wasn't there, who joined for a while. So I don't suppose many people would turn up, but still, I think I'd rather, considering how much more complicated tomorrow's release will be, I think we should keep it to a small group.
What do you think, Marsha?
What do you see is the advantage of inviting the community? I never did.
I don't know. It was just a thought. Like, maybe this is something that could be, but I don't know. We still have shared the process.
In order to use CMREL, so in order to use it, you need to be very privileged already. So it doesn't really have much use.
Yeah, and to be honest, we already described the whole release process.
Yeah,
it is already public and open source.
Something we did talk about as well is we want to find ways of increasing community engagement. I just suggested emailing more things to the mailing list because I looked at it and it's pretty it's empty and just people complaining occasionally every month.
Okay, I hate mailing lists.
Okay.
Use GitHub. That's where everyone is. If you use mailing lists, problem with mailing lists is everyone gets these mails and everyone is like, ugh, cert-manager again. Ugh, cert-manager again. That's how I feel about mailing lists.
But I also have that
you
problem with GitHub because it notifies me for everything, so all the GitHub
But
emails go somewhere
you
else.
can't turn you. That's not the default. In name list, that's the default. I mean, just what I said with the issue, which was like, okay, yeah, we discussed this in the stand-up, and we decided not to do this. Put that as a response in GitHub, and that way, people who are not in our time zone, people who don't, we will right now have a meeting at this schedule. That will be me in a few weeks. Can follow along. That's part one. Keep communication on GitHub. And part two, if you want more community contributions, there needs to be a starting point when contributing to cert-manager, which is something I've been working on ever since October, but stopped a bit doing that, is marking good first issues, trying to help out people who want to get started with cert-manager, build out the contributing documentation, which is like, I wrote a small intro to Bazel without needing to know Bazel. On my documentation, I wrote what the fuck are the folders. I also wrote a bit about that. I think that's a good place to get started, instead of like bombarding people with emails. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, FOSDEM Complete is organized by mailing lists, and honestly, I stood there Saturday not knowing what I had to do, because it was bombarded in 50 emails ago, and the actual answer was in 3 replies below, and people were just emailing with questions and that were not important, and I completely got lost in it. Whereas a GitHub issue, I go to the pinned issues, and I would go to, that's the one.
Did you have any thought, like any ideas of content or things that could be shared on the mailing list that we could do on GitHub, for example? Jake?
No, I'm just not sure what. Like, I'm not sure how to get started apart from reading our contributor guide, I guess, because like it's like people don't. Is why don't people contribute stuff? I don't know.
You first of all have to have a reason to contribute stuff.
Hmm.
And that's mostly
Yeah.
how it starts. It's mostly, and then the second part is time, is also a point. You see many of these like big Kubernetes repositories because open source engineers inside companies like Google and Microsoft and almost Apple are contributing there. That's one part of open source. The other part of open source is people who need some small things. Maybe then get tracked also more to the community, or the rare unicorn who was looking for a project to contribute in their free time. And for that last one, Hacktober is a perfect thing. We got a few people engaged there.
I have an idea. Or
Yes.
reducing the burden of getting on board. Get rid of Bazel.
If you
Okay, that
can
was
write me an
controversial. Just
alternative
kidding.
system which can do everything by tomorrow, I will get rid of Bazel.
By tomorrow. Yeah, just kidding. I cannot. No, but there is a, like, when I started contributing, that was hard. Like, I was lucky to know everything about controllers because it is tough.
And that's why I was saying one thing. If you join new and you have to figure something out, write what you figure out in the contributing docs.
Yeah, I should have done that. Yes.
Looking at your boats, if you find something that you say, oh, I learned this new hack command, or like, oh, we have this, we have this obscure shell script that I didn't know about before, put it in the contributing docs. That's what I did when I joined. That's what I did when I went over it again. That's what I did when Jake joined also a bit, trying to figure out from his comments, yes, I need to comment this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I added a couple of things, but not like, not as much. So maybe one good step would be for me to just go over this starting guide thing and like tweak the things that I think, like things that I learned. I'll do that someday. To read through.
We actually derailed quite a lot from 1.2 to release meetings to increase community engagement.
Yeah, well, it started. You asked the question, Marcia. What's the advantage of inviting the community to the release? Probably not worth the extra hassle. But
Yeah,
Brian joined because his reason was he was interested to see how it works, and so from that point of view, it was quite successful.
Yeah.
He learned how we all the tools we use, and he seemed quite interested. But yeah, I think we should maybe we'll do it for the next release, but not tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Shall we move on to the next item then? Or-
yeah, I was just waiting on comments. Okay, and I think questions 1.2, nothing clear, everything ready to go. Do we have any candidates for 1.1? I'm thinking Helm chat.
1.3.
1.1. Backporting. Any critical bug fixes?
Ah,
Right.
Because we are deprecating Kubernetes, so I think it might be also worth to do at the same time a 1.1.1. Maybe the 1.1.1 first and then the 1.2 so you're warmed up.
That's true. Didn't even think about it.
good. Yeah.
I think Airbase fix for Helm charts is an ideal one. Unless you disagree.
I don't. I mean, I was just trying to understand, like, what does this actually mean?
So we do patch versions for older ones.
Right. Okay.
We
I get
the promises about like 3 versions back. But with 1.2, we're dropping Kubernetes 1.15 and below, and you will get complaints that people who stay on 1.1 will not be able to use Helm upgrade, for example. And this is such a small fix that we can backport. Prow does everything for you. You just need to do one command.
So cherry pick candidate and cherry
pick release -1.1.
Right.
Because that's a bug fix. Any other bug fixes which we could backport?
Depends if you consider the ingression a bug or a feature.
That's a feature because that's a new flag.
Yeah. So no then.
New feature is a new feature, even though it fixes the bug. I mean, those feature backports, maybe some idea for some company to pick up. I don't know which one company, Red Hat? Yeah, maybe they should pick it up. Maybe somebody wants to compete with Red Hat with like the Red Hat Secure Platform or something. They can call it a Java acronym.
Yeah, that means we won't be supporting various versions of OpenShift with 1.2. But like the latest OpenShifts are really up to date, so
yeah. If you use OpenShift 3, I hope you can pay for enterprise support.
Do we actually test on OpenShift at all?
We used to on OpenShift 3, which is based on Kubernetes 1.11. It took me months to do that, and then we're like, why do we do this even? No, testing on OpenShift is a hell. Why OpenShift only runs on Red Hat Core OS, or Red Hat Core OS only runs in a VM, and that VM takes approximately 45 minutes to start an OpenShift cluster.
And it takes all your RAM. Like we could do it if we paid money. If we paid money for a big instance to spin it on.
Red Hat also told us do not do it.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, we discussed with them. We were like, okay, but then this problem, and they just ended up like, you use Kubernetes, right? We guarantee Kubernetes compatibility, so you're right.
Okay. So that's on them if there is an issue.
We do test OpenShift OLM. We're just testing the OpenShift support.
So yeah. What's that big red line in test grid, Archer? The OpenShift tests are running.
Oh, They shouldn't.
Why isn't everyone going berserk about those test grid failures when everyone goes berserk about the Venafi test grid failures? Does it not trigger an email?
I didn't get an email about it. Could be because it's maybe not receiving a job.
Is it because it
I
ran at some
never got
point?
an email for OpenShift 3 test failing.
Is it just there because it ran at some point in the past?
Yeah.
And no data is a red line?
These are current dates, like it's the 10th today, right?
Yeah.
Might be worth checking the testing repo to check if we properly removed that one. I think at one point it got back because of a bad merge. And then I had to remove it, but I'm cannot better to double check that is the case.
Okay, maybe it's just not alerting because it's been failing for so long.
It could be. It would have been failing since December. That's when we removed the old version support.
The whole job takes 9 seconds, so it can't be doing anything. But then there is a job there.
It seems to
9 seconds.
fail.
No.
It seems to fail because it doesn't know what the customer resource definition is when we are trying to deploy.
That's because we removed V1 beta 1. But still spinning up an OpenShift cluster should take longer than. Oh well. Maybe the time is wrong.
So I guess that would be nice if we somehow checked the fact that we need to backport one fix.
Yeah.
How do we track this?
We usually on the PR do a cherry pick command. And once that PR then gets merged, it gets open to be backported.
Okay, so who wants to do that? Tomorrow? We should do that as part of the release process.
You should do that now and just release tomorrow.
Do you mean on the PR, on
Yes.
the PR which will be to create the new release, not on the PR that was to
No,
merge
there
it?
is no PR to create a release. You need to do that on the PR, which you just merge the feature in.
Right, so that's already done. That PR is already merged.
Yeah, but have you put a cherry pick command on there?
No.
No, that's you need to do. And once that PR will pick it up, and it will actually create a second PR, which is the same PR to release 1.1. It's all PRO magic. Write it down. All PRO magic.
I'm sorry. I'm lost. So we're going to wait. So I'm trying to figure out who is doing what.
Command that does.
Let me just live demo it. Let me live code.
Yes, please. Thank you. It means that will be done, I guess.
Okay, so this is merged.
/ cherry pick release 1.1. I think it's just one word, isn't it? Or does it not matter?
Cherry dash pick. Also cherry dash pick and cherry pick one word. They are should be synonyms. I hope that's at least what I always did.
Let's see.
There we go.
The same command.
I am not allowed to.
Nice.
Oh, great.
We need to. Well,
that's what we fixed once we moved into the CNCF.
Yeah, this is the next point on the agenda, so that's not.
Yeah, that's. Can somebody do the same command who is working for JetStack?
Yeah, I can do it. This was mine. Let me just navigate
Okay,
there.
so afterwards we're done afterwards. Like what should we do after that?
You will see a new PR. You will approve it.
Oh, great.
You will merge it.
Then do another release. And then do another release as usual.
And then do a release.
It's an easy release. It's like alpha,
yeah,
but
it's just like alpha.
Wait, so we have to do 1.1. something.
1.1.
Yeah.
1.1.
Yes, I really wanted a 1.1 release.
And we follow the same things.
We'll have to do the release process.
Well, we can do it.
No,
I got very bad news for you.
Yeah, no, I see the merge conflict.
Yeah, that's because the whole Helm release changed in 1.2. So you might want to do a manual PR to fix that.
Right. Against the 1.1 branch.
Yeah, release 1.1. Or you
It's
just
also-
create a branch from that branch and you make a PR through that branch.
It's also worth probably spending some time to go through every PR that's been through since 1.2, and maybe seeing if there's anything else that we'd want to cherry pick as well to go into 1.1.
Yeah, you could
Okay, let's have a cherry pick party at the beginning of the 1.2 party.
I would do
Very-
that the morning of, because you need to pass end-to-end tests, and otherwise your release party is gonna be a wait for end-to-end test party.
It's already quite early in the morning.
Just warning you that you're not in a meeting all day. I don't want you to hate your lives.
Can move the meeting start earlier if everyone's up for it. Mail.
Send an invite, a cherry pick party, and then you all move to another Google Meet, which is the release party.
I don't mind going. It's half an hour earlier.
Ever since I left Jetlag, there's so many parties.
13 minutes earlier. Okay, I'll create a thing then.
Would I recommend an hour? End-to-end tests do not pause in
Rank.
20 minutes.
Oh, but is it just cherry picking, or is it?
It's cherry picking
Like
the PR, approving the PR, but that requires end-to-end tests.
Oh yeah, approving. It's yeah. Okay.
You don't want to release something without having an end-to-end test.
1
run over it.
hour. So that would be really early, I think. Not for me, but
I mean, we can. I still don't think it matters that it's half an hour, because we can cherry pick them and then we can start the 1.2 release, and then by the time we've done the 1.2 release,
Yes.
surely the end-to-end test will have passed or failed.
so that
And
would
if
be
it fails, we
9.
have more work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, 9.
Just be on time, because if you merge multiple PRs, they are getting in a queue, and every single change of that queue requires a new end-to-end test.
Ah, the queue.
That's a nice queue. I love it. I love the part of Proud, the queue.
Who wants to be to this cherry pick party? Okay, I'll just
be there.
put everybody.
I'll be there. I'll be there with a very strong coffee.
Good.
Okay, so we have all backports for 1.1 to be the famous 1.1.1. Too bad we cannot do 1.1.1 alpha 1. Good. Moving on, 1.3. Per cert-manager tradition, could a planning meeting be a good idea?
Yes.
I hear a yes.
We had a tiny mention of it in the internal meeting, so we should have one. Yeah.
Okay. To be scheduled, I will schedule one, I guess.
Oh, please, yes, do.
One important point for 1.3 is the CNCF move. We have been delaying this too long. It's already February. We should start doing this. This will make probably 1.3 and not a 2-month release, whichever cert-manager release has actually taken 2 months. Before we might call it 1.5 months, so we keep delaying stuff. That's, I think, is priority number 1. Get a built-in Fredon, get everything moved, get rid of all those double things, and give me permission to cherry pick again, and things like that.
Also, just a question: could we have, like, on the cert-manager project, is it allowed to have like GitHub apps attached to the organization, like just GitHub?
Yeah, no, you can use whatever you like. As long as it is not leaking, well, as long as it's not merging its own code. You cannot have a GitHub app as spyware everywhere, please. Thank you.
Yeah, it's for the, this GitHub live live notifications
Yeah.
thing.
Send the requests. Our committee will approve it.
Where should I send the request?
Oh, if you log into GitHub OAuth, you have a button request access from organization. Then our owners of the organization,
Yes,
which is the Linux Foundation, me, James Munnelly, and I think Josh will get an email and we'll approve it or deny it. I cannot approve or deny that I will.
Okay, great.
So after the thing, I see that there is also a ticket on Verify client updates. Matt Bates says on the move, hands in mute. Do you want to say? Okay, Matt is muted, but Matt is only saying that he's muted.
So this is just something, the Verify client is just something that they pinged us in the Verify Slack saying that this is a big update, so please bump your version and, well, we have end-to-end tests. Surely everything will be okay if they pass, and if not, then poke it.
Seems like a small fix. Yeah, and many small bug fixes, and I see a link to many small bugs. Now I'm very curious what this link is.
So this is just the next milestone, which has basically, it's got loads of stuff in. So we'll sift this in the planning meeting. We'll have to sift this in the planning meeting.
This is what the planning meeting is for. The planning meeting is going through the next milestone, picking issues which we're gonna tackle in the next 2 months. That's the planning meeting.
I just thought it was getting massive.
Next is the new backlog.
Can we rename next to next, please?
I think we should fix that bug in Prow instead.
Oh yes,
because I've been using to writing milestone next with capital N, so you're breaking my muscle memory.
Milestone. So it would be nice if we could put milestone with a capital or not.
Yeah, that's something you have to PR to the Kubernetes 6.
I think milestones are
case sensitive.
Case sensitive, yeah. So
I don't think it's a problem.
Distinct thing.
Yeah, we should just like rename it to next, and then break matchup. Like I've seen so many instances of people typing next with a lowercase. It makes me laugh.
Sorry.
It might not break anything. It might put a redirect, mightn't it? GitHub might do something clever and redirect.
Yeah, no, what with milestone is, because what Prow does, it looks at the API, it looks which name is linked to which ID.
Oh, right, okay.
The milestones all have IDs.
Just quickly, because I forgot to ask on the CNCF, what do we have to do? There's a list, right?
Yeah, there is a ticket for that.
Yeah, what? So domain trend, like someone Aime?
No, that's sorry. There are two lists. This is the CNCF TOC list. This is an action items only remaining for Matt Bates. Bates, there are tasks for you. There is a second one written by me, which is the actual move for us.
Oh yes.
Which is move repo to cert-manager / cert-manager. So for the TOC one, we only have left the website changes, PR is made, only to be approved. Then we have left transfer analytics and transfer the website domain ownership, which is an action item for Matt Bates. And then we have move repo to cert-manager. I'll quickly put that.
Move repo to
this one. And this is a complete list, well, not fully complete, I think, which is we have to do, which ends, this is the technical part. We have to change or go import parts, easy with modules. and update IPSL config. We have to also move our prow setup to live under cert-manager testing, which will probably be just setting up a fresh prow, because I think Z wants to keep the other prow for Jetstack internal. Set up a release tooling to use the new repo, double checking the redirect, but that's on the GitHub site. Change license boilerplate already has been done, actually. So this is one epic issue. This needs to be turned into small ones, by the way, just saying. So look into a solution for Helm charts. This will probably be for release next, because currently we host a Helm chart on Jetstack. We should probably also set up chart.cert-manager.io. K images also need to be moved from k.io/jetstack to k.io cert-manager and be owned by the cert-manager organization. So the plan of action is here to move prow, set everything up first, that everything there is ready, move the repositories, and then we can have a PR ready which changes the cert-manager code. And after that, before the first alpha release, we can start working on the new KIO organization, the updated Helm charts, etc. I wrote this in November.
Yeah.
That's the technical part. The DOC ticket is purely legal.
Okay. It's quite a lot of quite a lot of things to do, but needs to be done.
Yeah, it needs to be done. It's gonna be a lot of work. I think we can parallelize it a bit by just having some people work on cert-manager features, because we can all not be writing YAML at the same time, unless you have some proprietary things which to work on in the same time. We basically have to set up the new prow infra, etc. It's not a one-day thing. I think it will take weeks.
Well, I guess we'll be able to have both up for a little while at the same time, right? Because like the module path changes anyway, so.
Yeah, we keep everything on a Jetstack, and we start building a parallel infrastructure at cert-manager, like with prow, and we then discouple the Jetstack prow, because having two prows on one repo, they're gonna fight. No, don't do that.
Is it like an animal that fights?
Yeah, they're gonna talk to each other. Have you seen that one PR that's like one bot makes a PR, the other one does an LGTM on it, and the other one merges it? It's gonna be such a thing. Yeah, basically the prow will be the tricky part, I think. I think we better just set it up, comment out on YAML just right after the move. I think the actual outage, if you want to call it that, will be 2-3 hours. If you can move this without downtime, please tell me. I don't think we can. I think we have to turn on all CI for an hour, move it, and then turn on the new CI.
But none of us actually have like admin on that prow, do we? Like, is it not just? Do we?
Yeah, you all do.
Oh, cool.
It's just Jetstack testing the repo.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I thought prow infrastructure, prow cluster as such.
Oh no, that's all run by Jetstack.
Yeah, but I didn't know we had access. So
I don't think we have access to the actual cluster, but
no, you all have access. See,
really?
should have added you all. Yep, I have access to the cluster. You should also have access to.
Cool.
Sorry, I had access. I don't anymore.
Do we get? Can we use the existing infrastructure that other CNCF projects use?
That's one thing we have to check. I'm not sure what infrastructure they use. I'm not sure is a company sponsoring. They all have their own. I need to, or somebody has to check with the CNCF on that yet. So we haven't got an official confirmation on that. We're waiting to be added to some internal lists, which we only have been since the beginning of the year. So we basically need to place an inquiry, what we can do. Do we have a budget? If not, I quote Matt Bates, I'm happy to sponsor. I heard Matt is still happy to host the pro infrastructure for cert-manager, which then would be like we get a community-owned project with billing linked to Jetstack, I guess, which is also a plan. So we have either CNCF or either Matt Bates.
Right.
Do we receive test grid notifications now? Just
I do.
checking.
I do. I got some.
Yeah, but you get like from the two like this the recipient's
You have to say
email
Matt Bates
is you.
10 times and then he's back. Hi, Matt.
Hey, you're right. Hi. Sorry, I was on the move. So
We
I
just
didn't
talked
wanna...
half an hour about you, so don't worry.
Well, no, I was listening in. I was just on the move, and I didn't want. It was
Okay.
background noise, so I didn't want to. I was walking. I was out walking, trying to get some fresh air, and I didn't want to cause a lot of background noise. Anyway, I'm here. I heard a little bit about the CNCF,
Yeah.
and the infrastructure behind
Yeah.
it. I don't know about the infrastructure part of it. You're right, Marta. We need to sort of find out a bit about that. But
Yeah.
in terms of the action items, I think several they're in progress. So I'll reply to
Okay.
Amy actually to update
Yeah,
you on at least one of those.
Yeah. I paint since you know that it's your responsibility now.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I'll
Think
pick
about that.
up.
I need to update the owner's file of the CNCF also.
As for infra, I don't know whether that applies for sandbox projects or whether that's something that I
That's
have a
something.
feeling it might be for graduated projects. But anyway, we should ask the question and find out.
Yeah. If not, we could always just use the sponsorship from Matt Bates Incorporated.
Yeah, I think JetStat can sponsor the infra on that. I don't think, but we just need to work out a way that it can be billed back to us, but have more open access. If that makes sense, yeah. So it's more.
Yeah,
zones.
I think the way having a Google project under the Google, or like you can link billing accounts to you have an open source Google thing and then
Yeah.
link the JetStack billing account, which I think is possible. You're a
Yeah,
Google Cloud partner, figure it out.
No, we'll be able to, I think we'll be able to make it work. It'd be interesting to know what some of the other projects do actually in the sandbox. We just out of intrigue, we should probably do a bit of due diligence on that.
Okay, we actually have like 7 minutes left before the hour is over. Do we have anything?
Yeah, one last thing. So test grid notifications, it is stuck right now because so you're receiving it, but it's supposed to be sent to the new mailing list alert, like the alert mailing list. So at the bottom here, I have a link to a Kubernetes test infra issue that has been created out of the change I made to the testing repo. And this one, I don't know how that works. Like, what should I be doing?
Ping James manually. He has approved permissions there.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry. Never mind. James manually already approved.
New changes are detected. Looks good to me. Label has been removed.
Just do a ping. Do a ping to James Penley again. He has permissions there.
Okay, great. Fun. Thanks.
Okay. So
we didn't talk about the design things. Like there was this item here. We didn't.
Yeah,
talk about
I'm
this.
just about to say that.
Oh, sorry.
Next on the agenda is Josh design for design draft. And Josh, I propose to do this next time, unless that's too far away in the future, because we only have 5 minutes left, and I don't want to make everyone work late.
Probably want to set up a separate meeting, I guess, is probably the thing to do. So leave that with me, and we'll go over it. The identity design document, that's done, and there's the implementation up that's done and is ready for review. The upstream certificates, CSR API design, there's another section that I want to add to it, and that might help to answer your question as well, Jake, that you left on the PR. So yeah, there's a couple things that I want to address, I guess, more kind of reasons why I want to make, or the reasons why I'm making certain decisions over others, basically, which aren't described at all in that design document. So yeah, I'm going to add a section to kind of address a lot of those questions. Why are we doing some things, not other things, sort of thing. The identity one is done, and that's ready for review. But perhaps probably worth having a separate meeting to talk about that. What else was I going to say? Yeah, been playing around with the CSR stuff locally, and that seems to work as expected. So there's no technical blockers, I don't think, with my design, basically. So the kind of technical details are fine, but yeah, whether we want to go through the design or not is, I guess.
Does it make sense to like send the invitation to the mailing list?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm concerned about sending loads of people emails all the time. So yeah,
which is just what Jake proposed. Sorry.
Like you have no idea. Like I'm following cluster API and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're crazy.
But no, I find it very interesting. Sometimes most of the time I don't care, and sometimes I care. But it's a low volume. It's not that much, and we don't have that many emails coming from cert-manager dev. So, like, it's rare when we do. And these design things, it's something that like the community might have like a word on.
Yeah, so this is a very important change.
Yes. Make it so it doesn't send emails. I think that's something you can do on Google Events. But yeah, I'm kind of conscious of that. Yeah, I'll see what I could do. And yeah,
what do you mean by doesn't send email?
So you can create a Google event, and when you click create, it doesn't.
Yeah, but
no, that's with updates.
It makes sense to just.
It will still send a calendar invite, which is theoretically an email.
Yeah. Okay,
but it's fine to just send the invite. Like people are just going to dismiss it. It's fine.
Okay.
My mailbox used to be full of this random Gmail user doesn't join your stand-up. I'm like, okay, too bad.
Just remember to have like a description that lets users just dismiss it if they think it's useless for them. Like if they see an invitation and they don't like understand, they
make a very long description.
A boring one, so people don't join. Just kidding.
Okay, we have 2 minutes left. I guess, is there somebody wants to comment on now? Speak up now or be quiet forever.
Yeah, thank you, Masha, for being here today. Like, we were talking about you right before in the internal meeting. Like, we were crossing the fingers thinking, is she going to come or not?
You should have just opened the calendar and seen that I have been working on the meeting notes.
Yeah, actually, Jake was saying that you were editing the document like 10 minutes before, so that was a good sign.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks for sharing as well.
Thanks,
I'm gonna stop the recording now.